What's up, guys? Are you 21? Do you like to smoke weed? Have you ever wanted to smoke something you grew yourself? Well, listen to this. I'm Drake, and I'm going to be taking everyone today through the process of wet trimming a marijuana branch right off the marijuana plant. So guys, this is some good information if you do like to smoke weed or just are interested in the growing process alone. This is some really good information to you if you want to get down the road, if you want to grow or just grow one personal plant in the summertime. This is some really awesome information to you. Everyone has to trim, whether it's wet trimming, dry trimming. You have to do it at the end of after you're done growing and your plants are ready to harvest. It just has to be done. So there are two processes. There is wet trimming and dry trimming. Today I'm gonna be showing you wet trimming just because I don't have the space and room to dry trim. So today I'm gonna be taking you through 3 steps. I'm gonna be taking you through kind of the room setup and the layout that you need and the essential tools that you should have and should use, and then also how you should de-leaf all the big leaves and get all the stuff that holds no THC value off the branch, and then also how to fine trim your buds to get them like that Christmas tree shape that everyone loves so much and cares so much about. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the first thing you see, I'm sitting in my room. Well, not in my room, this is actually my shed. You know, you're working with a plant. You're working with a really stinky plant. Sometimes you're working with more than one stinky plant. So you want to find a good room that you don't care about stinking up and the smell leaking out. Just find a good room that you can keep clean and organized and you don't care about the smell. And that's kind of how I like to do it. I like to stay clean and organized. So I like to make sure everything is just clean, the floor is mopped, the room is ready for the table and for the plants to be brought in, so I don't get no cat hair, no dog hair, no dust, no anything in my final bud product. And to do that, I start off with this table. I start off with this just a normal white little table, but I throw cardboard paper over it just because the branch and the weed doesn't stick to the table at all. It doesn't stick to the cardboard paper. And then also it just helps keep everything clean and organized, and then when I'm done, just fold up the paper, toss it out, no biggie. Also, what I like to use is this trim bin. You don't have to use a trim bin, but again, it just keeps everything clean and organized. And when you're working with marijuana, a marijuana plant, I can't stress enough how important it is to be clean and organized. You don't want any buds missing. You don't want, you just don't want to lose track of anything. You want to know where everything is at all times, and just have good final product and good habits. So yeah, use the trim. Well, I like the trim bins. You don't have to, but again, keeps it clean and organized. You also need to have a pair of these bad boys. Now they're not normal scissors. What they are special pruning scissors, and they're actually Teflon coated, so they don't stick together when you're wet trimming. And I find these super easy to use. They last for hours. I can just wet trim all day, and no gunk gets on them, and they don't stick up too much. Then also, you need some bags. You need a bag for your trash, for your big leaves and your stems. Then you also need a bag for your finalized trim that you want to keep and use for final processing. And that's about it for really the room, guys. Just make sure you keep it clean, organized. You be conscious of the smell. And yeah. And then next, we're going to get into de-leafing all the big leaves and things that hold no THC content. And according to Leafy, an expert website about growing marijuana, it's just super important to get all the stuff that has no THC content off of the branch. So what I'm going to do right now, move the trim bin up a little bit, and I'm just going to clip all these big leaves right off the marijuana plant. all the big leaves that I know that don't hold anything and are no use and I don't want to smoke in the final end, I'm just going to chop that off. I'll chop off, now I'll keep that stem for final. So chop off all these big leaves. Bam, bam. And then once that's all chopped up, I can set that off to the side, and then I take the trim bin, take the trash bag, and I can pour all the trash into the trash bag, and that can be burned or composted later. So next I have, now this is what the branch looks like after the de-leafing process. So next, finally, we can get into the fine trimming process. So how you do that, you take the buds, and according to growweedeasy.com, another expert growing website, you just want to make sure you get everything that doesn't hold THC, finalize the bud, and start shaping it like how you would want your buds to look if you had a bag of weed yourself. So, you just gotta start trimming all the wet trim off the buds. Bam, bam. Now this process does take quite a bit, especially if you have a lot of weed. So it's always helpful to have a helping hand to help you do this kind of stuff. It just goes quicker. But you just want to fine trim them all up. Get them shaped like how you would want your weed shaped. Just keep on going. And I like to, normally some people like to take the buds off the stem and trim it with their hands, but I like to actually hold the stem like a lollipop, and I like to touch the buds at least as I can, just so I can keep all the crystals on there and keep the potency up, and I don't get any stickiness on my fingers. Normally I'd wear gloves. That's also something you need. But you just keep trimming, 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 trimming. And then this basically is what it looks like when you're done. You just got a whole bunch of buds on a stem. And now these buds I can chop off. So I'll chop them off in the trim bin in the corner so I know where they're at. Don't get mixed up with the trim. And then I just have a stem. All the buds are in the trim bin. Throw that in the trash pile. I'll show you guys the buds in the trim, or the buds are in the corner. The trim's in there. You got these nice little buds now, and now these buds are ready for the drying process, which would be in another video. But guys, again, I have to advise that marijuana is a drug. Please be the age of 21 before you do anything like this, or smoke weed or anything like that. So just be careful, treat it responsibly, and I hope everyone learned something today, and happy planting, guys. Thank you.